Hey everybody, hey, this is Quentin Samuels, aka Mr. Q, and you are plugged in to the Mr. Q's Plugged In Virtual Show. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to share. I want you to share the video. This is very important tonight. Listen, everybody know that we're dealing with COVID-19, and the issue with COVID-19 is that it can affect any and everybody. The problem is that a lot of us, we don't know where this thing comes from. We don't know what caused it. We don't know anything about it. But we do know the most important thing that we can do is build our immune system. So tonight, what we're going to do, we have a young man who's going to come in. He actually has a company, and the company is called Emerald Isles Organics. Herbs and Leaves, and that's the name of the company. Basically, it's a tea company, and he's going to come in and talk to you all about it. We're going to talk about herbs. We're going to talk about the importance of building your immune system. He's going to let you know exactly the ingredients in each one of the teas. I'm sure he may have some bags, and he's going to probably show you. Also, he's going to leave his information because you can order these teas. As a matter of fact, I have mine right here. It's a green screen, so it may look a little different, but I have mine right here. So it's going to be Emerald Isles Organics CEO, Mr. Sam Williams. Sam is 21 years old, a 21-year-old black male CEO. 21 years old, a black male CEO that's 21. Look, we hear about it sometimes, but we got one right here on the show. The information he's going to give you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I know he speaks a lot of places and it's probably not free wherever he goes. So you're getting all this information for free, as well as he's going to give you all the information on how to get the tea and what the tea does. Ladies and gentlemen, real quick, I'll just play a little ad while we're getting ready for Mr. Sam. And this is one of our previous guests. She has a shop right now, not a shop, a training course, phlebotomy training. So anybody interested in phlebotomy training, I always got to give her a shout out because her and her husband has been really good to me. And this is Shay Johnson, Elite Phlebotomy Training, Elite Art Phlebotomy Training commercial. And we'll be back after these messages. Would you like to learn phlebotomy? Do you need to improve your current skills as a phlebotomist? Do you need to continue your education or training for a quick job? Then Elite Art of Phlebotomy Training is the place for you. We offer a 4-week training for those who want to become a certified phlebotomist. We also offer a 2-day fast-track workshop for those who might already know how to draw or maybe just want a refresher course. At Elite Art of Phlebotomy, the goal is to provide both excellent phlebotomy training and patient care to all students to build their confidence in professional skills that is much needed in the healthcare field. Students will gain valuable experience in drawing blood as well as understanding the concept of blood collections. Our primary goal is to help students become skilled and exceptional with their art. We also provide CPR training for adults and children. So if you're interested in becoming a certified phlebotomist, call us now at 346-255-2192. That's 346-255-2192. Classes begin the first Tuesday of every month in Houston, Texas, and the first Saturday of every month in Bryan, Texas. Payment plans are available, and we also follow CDC guidelines. So contact Elite Art of Phlebotomy Training today, where phlebotomy is more than a skill, it's an art. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and right now I'm going to introduce, without further ado, as they say at church, without further ado, I'm going to introduce to y'all Samuel Williams, straight out of Illinois right now, if I'm not mistaken, and we're going to speak to Samuel Williams. How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. And I'll let people know he's like up north, so his visual is a little bit choppy because he's like far up. Tell him where you're at, man.
So currently I reside in Decatur, Illinois.
So we're in Decatur, Illinois, and that's out there. So y'all know how it is. But listen, y'all can hear him, y'all can see him, and we're going to get right into this. So Sam, let us know about the company and let us kind of know how the company came about.
Right. So it's a great question. So a lot of the people that have been following us for a little while are pretty aware of my mom. We're actually somewhat co-owners of the tea company, and it was kind of an interesting night. We were sitting down having dinner. It was about, I want to say, about 3 years ago, and we were drinking some tea. And no offense to the restaurant, but I think this was like an instant tea. It wasn't very good. And and she was just there telling me stories about how, you know, she grew up in the islands, and they drunk what they call bush tea. And it's a different assortment of teas, but the general name is bush tea. And it's, you know, she was telling me about how they used to always drink it, and certain ones, you know, she didn't like because they were a little bitter, or, you know, and we were going through that. And I think a couple months later, we were drinking some peppermint that we had actually picked out of our backyard, and we dried it, and we were just smelling how fragrant it was. And we were saying to ourselves, man, it would have been great if that tea was even half as good as what we're drinking now. And, you know, we kind of deliberated, and the idea came up, why don't we just start a tea company? And it kind of blossomed from there. It really did.
So let everybody know, you're not just some random young kid or whatever. You know, you've graduated high school. What college did you? Because you were telling me that COVID kind of revamped your path. But what were you initially going to college for? And you were going to Troy State, correct?
Troy University. Yeah, I was going for biomedical science.
Okay.
And so I kind of moved up here and wanted to continue that. I kind of changed a little bit in terms of what I was studying, and with this COVID, the implications of COVID, it kind of, like you said, revamped a lot of the information and research that I was doing initially when we started this business, to kind of make sure that everyone that was coming to us would have, you know, some good outlook and information on what to buy and how it all affects them. So I've definitely had some backgrounds in that. And also, when we started, we actually had a lot of consultations with herbalists. So we definitely wanted to make sure that we put information at the forefront of the business, you know, whether it came from me or whether it came from, you know, the herbalist that we had, who has 20 plus, 30 plus years of experience. We wanted to make sure that the information was well researched and documented.
Okay, man. Um, like, so what gets me is that you're such a young age, and y'all, I'll tell y'all this. Not only I know Sam. I remember Sam when Sam was a baby, like literally a baby. Me and Sam are from the same ministry. We're Christian fraternity brothers, right, Sam?
Yes,
So
sir.
Alpha Phi, Alpha, Beta, Omega. There we go. So with that being said, we have a lot of people who are around us that were doctors, and even our leader, he was actually he passed away in November, but he was actually a licensed, certified, degreed physician, a medical doctor, and he would give us all of these things to take and all of this. And he also helped discover polyester, you know, and I don't know if you remember that, Sam. You don't know.
do. Yeah, he talked about it.
Yeah. So that's why I'm so excited, because this dropped down on the younger generation. And to see a 21, y'all got to share this, to see a 21-year-old CEO of a company, because we're about to get into this. And once we get into what he sells and what they offer, you're going to understand why I'm so excited about him being as young as he is and doing what he does. So tell us, I know you talked about your mom a little bit. She may not even want to be on screen or anything, but because I know how she is. I know.
Right.
But tell us about how she helps push, because I watched y'all. I've seen a lot of pictures. I could probably share them. I've seen a lot of pictures of your seminars and your conferences. You've been to a lot of conventions with this tea.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And how long have y'all been in business?
We've been in business for about 3 years. I would say we started going out and traveling and doing stuff like that for about, I want to say 2 years. You know, the second year, when we felt like the product was kind of ready to, you know, take on the road, We just started booking all of the events that we could, farmers markets, any health conventions, any, small business fairs, anything like that. And we just started traveling with it because, we wanted to try to expose as much people as we could to the product so they can kind of break into Emerald's Organics.
Your mom said, I'm at work. Sorry. So she's watching, but she's at work. Y'all, she's at work. Here she is right here. She said, I am at work. Sorry. But the thing I like about this is because this was 3 years ago. COVID hadn't even came yet.
No,
so guess what? This was predestined because the same things that we need to help build our immune system, you're actually selling and we can drink it. And y'all, is good for real. So let's we have a spotlight real quick. If you don't mind, we're gonna get a spotlight and we're gonna come right back and we're gonna get into the teas. We're gonna talk about what does what and what part is good. And I'll tell y'all it's good because I put a little honey in mine. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have a spotlight, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to a commercial break. And our next spotlight, now you won't be able to see her, ladies and gentlemen, because I think she has a little issue with her signal, but you will be able to hear. And it's Chrissy Ransom, Beyond Bracelets and Beyond Bracelets, I believe. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a quick commercial break here, and we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, this is Quentin Samuels, aka Mr. Q. We want you to know that we want this show to keep running. So listen, if you're a follower, if you're a fan, if you're loving the show, we have a Cash App. The Cash App is $Mr. Q, MIZTAQ. If you would like to donate, you can donate $1, you can donate $2, you can donate $5, you can donate $5,000. It's all up to you. Whatever you donate, we make sure that it goes directly to our show. Also, we will put it in the pot for our cash giveaways. If you would like to donate and help us keep this show running and make it bigger and bigger and better, that we can have a platform for ourselves, $MIZTAQ. We'll see you then, and make sure that you are always plugged in. We are back. And look, I want to tell y'all something I just saw right now. I want to welcome Mr. Julian Allen. Julian Allen is from let me see where Julian Allen is from. Julian Allen is from London, the United Kingdom. We thank you for tuning in, man. We thank you, Julian, for tuning in. Anyone else from Montserrat, from London, if you're tuned in, hey, we are glad that you're supporting this young man. So right now we have with us Chrissy Ransom. Chrissy Ransom is the CEO of Beyond Bracelets, correct? Give me the name, Chrissy.
Yes.
Give me the name.
Yes.
Beyond Bracelets. So, Chrissy, tell us about your
it's Beyond Bracelets. Yes.
Beyond Bracelets. So, tell us about your company and tell us what you do.
Okay. We are Beyond Bracelets. My sister and I, Taylor Ransom, started this business during quarantine. We just kind of picked up a hobby, and a lot of our family members liked some of the products and designs that we was putting together. So we decided to go ahead and launch it, just a small opening, and see if people would be interested in it. And it's slowly growing, and a lot of people are starting to buy it. We have new things coming out soon. So we just ask that you guys be on the lookout for all of our new products that will be coming out this year. I don't think I can hear you.
So, Chrissy, I had my mic off. I try to cut my mic off when people are talking because I don't want to overtalk you and breathe and all that stuff. But so y'all, Chrissy, she's a little nervous, but people get nervous behind that a little bit, you know. And Chrissy can talk. Don't get her wrong. But I want to ask you a question. Would you say that if COVID had never appeared, do you think y'all would have ever thought of this or as quick as y'all did?
No, I have been thinking about a business venture of some kind But never would I have thought that it would have picked up like it did, and we would have sat down and actually figured out something that we both was interested in and something that we could do that we actually enjoyed to do. So no, I don't think it would have launched like it did if COVID, we wouldn't have been stuck in the house.
Yeah, and people for some reason it's like they buy more when they're in the house. They buy more
Right.
stuff, they buy more shirts, they buy, man, look, cameras. I buy cameras. Uh I buy model cars. I buy stuff when I'm in the house. And it's crazy. And I'm
Right.
like, there are people that buy clothes when they're stuck in the house. Where can you go? What do you do? Dress up and walk around the house? But that's just our mindset. We just buy stuff.
Right.
So I want to say it's good to see you doing this because, like, it's probably not orthopedic, it's therapeutic for you. It gives you something to do. You can be creative because I've seen some of the beads. Do you have one that you can kind of show us? I know you probably got one on your wrist. You don't have one on your wrist like
Yeah,
this?
I do have one on my wrist.
Let's see. Y'all see that? Y'all see that right there? You see what I'm saying? So it's like creative. You can do colors. You can do little hearts and crowns and whatever you want to do, and be creative. So that's a good thing. So Chrissy, let people know if they want to get bracelets, and in the future you said beyond bracelets. So you about to do some stuff. When you put that beyond on there, I already know you about to do something else. I already know it. So just don't tell us. Right. Don't tell us. I won't tell nobody. Don't tell us. But when you start, you want to get people involved with your bracelets. Kind of let them know what your Facebook page is and all of that.
Yes, our Facebook. We're on Facebook and Instagram right now. Our Facebook is at Beyond Bracelets with an S at the end, 2020. You'll see a green logo that has BB. And our Instagram is at Beyond Bracelets BB. And it has the same logo, a green logo. You can also follow my personal page because we share it, Chrissy Ransom, on Facebook.
Okay, so I'm going to pull the page up for everybody so they can kind of see it right there. And it looks like you've been working. Your page you have lots of people. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show y'all her page, and it is actually, I think it's Beyond Bracelets 2020 is what I see. Is that the correct one?
Yes, sir. On Facebook, it's at Beyond Bracelets 2020.
Okay. So this is where you can find them right here on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, at Beyond Bracelets 2020. And I think it's the same thing on Instagram. So listen, y'all, they already have, go to her page, like the page, see what they have to offer. She has some pictures up and everything. So ladies and gentlemen, this is Beyond Bracelets with Chrissy Ransom. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave that there for a minute so you all can find them and like the page. And we're going to say, hey, do you have anything else you want to say to the people before you go?
I just want to say thank you to everybody that has already supported us, and that we also support businesses and shout out businesses. So if you have any products or anything that you would like to collab on, just contact us on that page or on our personal page.
And yes,
and
she
thank
does.
you, Q, for shouting us out.
You are welcome. And yes, she does, because hey, her company has actually donated throughout our giveaway. I'm gonna tell it anyway. They actually donated throughout our giveaway that we do, the cash giveaway every month. So we thank you for that. So ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to check out Beyond Bracelets 2020 on Facebook, Instagram. Where else are you?
Just on Facebook and Instagram for now.
Okay, so thank you so much, Christy. We're going to get back into this, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to get back into this right here. We got my boy Sam. Look, look, that's my boy Sam. So we got this.
Would you like to learn phlebotomy? Do you need to improve your current skills as a phlebotomist? Do you need to continue your education or training for a quick job? Then Elite Art of Phlebotomy Training is the place for you. We offer a 4-week training for those who want to become a certified phlebotomist. We also offer a 2-day fast track workshop for those who might already know how to draw or maybe just want to refresh your course. At Elite Art of Phlebotomy, the goal is to provide both excellent phlebotomy training and patient care to all students to build their confidence in professional skills that is much needed in the healthcare field. Students will gain valuable experience in drawing blood as well as understanding the concept of blood collections. Our primary goal is to help students become skilled and exceptional with their art. We also provide CPR training for adults and children. So if you're interested in becoming a certified phlebotomist, call us now at 346-255-2192. That's 346-255-2192. Classes begin the first Tuesday of every month in Houston, Texas, and the first Saturday of every month in Bryan, Texas. Payment plans are available, and we also follow CDC guidelines. So contact Elite Art of Phlebotomy Training today, where phlebotomy is more than a skill, it's an art.
Yo, we are back with my brother Sam. And Sam Williams, listen, he is the CEO of Emerald Isles Organic Tea. And right now I am sipping on that awesome white pine blend, Sam, and it is great. Got a little honey, a little dash of lemon off in there to give it the little flavor. So Sam, let's get into it, man. Let's tell us about the different teas you offer and tell us what the actual herbs in the teas, what does it help? What does it build? You know, so give us as much knowledge as you have. So ladies and gentlemen, pay attention because Sam is about to talk and I'm about to let him have it for a minute. All right, go ahead, Sam.
Okay, so yeah, so we have we started out with a few teas that were very helpful for the immune system, and then since COVID, we've kind of added even more teas to that collection to kind of help with people trying to bolster their immune system. So the first few I'm going to name out here is the first one you talked about, which actually has been very popular. You know, because it is a very mild taste. You can probably speak to that. It's something that even if you're not used to drinking herbal tea, it's very mild. It's easy for many palates to kind of grow used to that. So it's one of our at least top sellers within the last couple months. So we have the white pine, and that comes two ways. One with peppermint, and then one that has lemongrass and ginger. And I'll talk about the flavor profile, and then I'll get into some of the specifics of just how it helps and what it benefits in every individual way. So the white pines, I would say, with the mint, it's going to be a little minty. It's going to be a little aromatic, very fragrant. So the mint is going to kind of drive the taste with that one with the white pine. And then when you add in the lemon and ginger to the other white pine that we have, those ones, that's going to work a little bit more harmonious. So there's a balance there between that lemongrass and the white pine that's quite nice. And then you just have just a tiny bit of spice on the end with the ginger. It's not a lot. It's just a little bit just to make it a little bit more rich. So those two are the first two. And then we have the wellness tea. Now, the wellness tea, you know, I try to tell everyone this is something you definitely want to have if you're trying to build your immune system. And it's named for that specific purpose, wellness. And we've gotten so much feedback from that specific tea and how helpful it's been for a lot of different people. So the wellness has a barrage of things. It has elderberry, it has yarrow, it has hyssop in it, and then it has a few notes of raspberry leaf and ginger and mint to kind of round out the flavor. But those three things, the elderberry, the yarrow, and the hyssop, all of them in their own right are very helpful for boosting the immune system. So that is a tea that I would recommend for sure out of these that I'm mentioning now. The next one is the lemongrass. And that one is a pretty bare bones in terms of what's in it. It's just plain lemongrass. And we did it that way because, you know, we didn't want it to be overshadowed by anything because lemongrass on its own is actually an antimicrobial and antibacterial, and it's very useful for cold and flu symptoms. So this tea, in terms of the taste, it's very mild, very mellow. It doesn't taste like lemon. That's something that I would like to say for the viewers if they're thinking about buying that one. It doesn't taste like lemon. It's a very mild herbal flavor to it, and it works and pairs well with a lot of different teas, which is why it comes up a lot in our mixes. And then these last two I'm going to mention here, they help in terms of herbal health and immunity boosting, but they're on a different side of it. So the last two I'm going to mention is our sorrel tea. Our sorrel tea is very similar to hibiscus. If many of you are familiar with the hibiscus tea, it is very similar to that. They're actually in the same family, but the sorrel is going to be a little darker in terms of the hue. But the flavor is actually very floral, a little tart, very fragrant. In fact, as soon as you put sorrel into water, it immediately diffuses into the water, even before you put any hot water into it. It's just in lukewarm water, it will diffuse into it. So that's a tea that's going to help more so with regulation. And then lastly, the tea that I would probably put in that is going to be our Moringa tea. And many of you have probably started to hear about Moringa. It's becoming more and more popular. It's one of the most nutrient-dense plants. It's actually a tree, but in terms of the leaves, it's actually one of the most nutrient-dense plants. And it has many different vitamins, vitamin C, A, and E, lots of potassium, and that's going to help in a lot of different ways. But in terms of the flavor profile of it, it's going to be very herbal, a little vegetal, and it's going to be a little bit more geared towards being herbal in terms of the taste. So that's a tea that's a little stronger in taste than, say, the lemongrass, for instance. Now, I think the biggest question that we're all here to answer is, what is all of these teas good for, right? And I think that's something that I've been thinking about, when we started the business, is the information for what you're drinking is the most vital key to this, because if you're getting misinformation or if you're not properly educated in terms of what the usefulness of something does, then it's not going to help you. It's not going to benefit you, right? So into real quick, Mr. Q probably showed it earlier, but this is a good view of what it looks like. This is one of the blends. This is the white pine with the lemongrass and the ginger added to it. And again, I said that one is a very harmonious blend. It's really, really well made. So with the white pine, we actually use an Eastern pine actually to make our tea. And it's actually 3 to 5 times more vitamin C in white pine in comparison to a typical glass of orange juice. So you can imagine that if you're steeping this white pine tea the right way and you're drinking it consistently, I mean, you're talking about a very potent glass of vitamin C in comparison to orange juice. And the other good thing I like about these teas is you're getting all of these nutrients, all of these vitamins without the processing, the excessive processing, the sugar. Not saying you can't sweeten your teas, but I'm saying it's up to you to add those things to it. Whereas otherwise, if you wanted to drink orange juice or something like that, you'd have to deal with, the amounts of sugar and all those different things. But with this white pine, you're getting a very sweet, a very mellow, mild flavor, and a really nice blend with tons of vitamin C in it. So this is going to be in I call the immunity boosting category. So when you talk about building the immune system, there's 2 parts to it, in my opinion, right? So you have immunity boosting, and then you also have bodily regulation. So those 2 things have to actually work in tandem for you to be doing this effectively. So this part of it is what we call the immunity boosting, right? So this is drinking a tea that is going to provide tons of vitamin C, and it's going to be an amazing tea just in taste alone. So and those are for both of the white pines. They're going to be very high in vitamin C. And then the one with lemongrass, we'll get to that. So moving on to the wellness tea, right? So the wellness tea has elderberry, it has yarrow, hyssop leaf, and then I told you it has a few other things like ginger and mint for just the flavor profile. The wellness tea it has a lot of antioxidants in it because of the elderberry, and then you have the yarrow, which in its own right is very helpful as an antibacterial and fighting cold and flu symptoms. So elderberry, very high in vitamin C, very high in antioxidants and other things like that, as well as the yarrow, which is very similar to the lemongrass in that it's useful for fighting cold and flu symptoms. So the yarrow and the elderberry paired along with the hyssop leaf, those are going to be in the immunity boosting category. So this tea, I've gotten many stories. Hey, I bought the wellness tea. I've been drinking it. I felt a little sniffle. I drank it for 2 days, 3 days. I'm good to go. In fact, I feel better now.
Hey, Sam. Yeah, I was about to say Dr. Sam. So I want to plug this in, and I want to plug this in. Hey, I'm just speaking it, man. I want to plug this in, and then we're gonna go to a spotlight real quick. People, this tea that he's speaking of, he's not joking. Look, I live by this pine, and say I'll tell you what happened at first. I first started just buying bags of pines, white pine needles from Etsy, but it's different when it's already prepared. It comes prepared. I wish I could show you the little bag, but it's in the bottom of my cup, and I keep it in my cup. When I run the hot water, I keep it in my cup and I let it steep. And the longer you let it steep, the more antioxidants, the more vitamins are in this. But you can't just put it in your water and just drink it, take the bag out, throw it in the trash. You got to let it sit there for a minute. But when you drink it, it's kind of like, I have the one with peppermint. The first one I got had the lemongrass. The peppermint actually has you can actually taste the mint a little bit. And when you mentioned about the little spice, I tasted it right when you said it because I never noticed it. But I'm telling y'all, people, it is good. It is great. So what we're going to do, we're going to have him pause right there because he's giving us some vital listen, folks, you're getting some vital information because he's going to let you know where the website is in a few. And he's going to let you know how to get this tea. And listen, when they ship it, they ship it. Now, it was my fault. I was a little frustrated because it took my tea a long time, Sam, but I was like, oh, I should have got I didn't get the expedited shipping. I just shipped the regular shipping.
Let me actually speak on that for just some quick moments. So we've been having some issues here, and I'm sure a lot of other businesses are seeing some of the similar things with all of the COVID implications. There's been a lot of problems in terms of the shipping, not actually us getting it there. It gets there and it'll sit at a place. And, sometimes it's just getting workers to work in these places, United Postal Service, or sometimes it's just, it has to go through its proper channels. But we've been trying to get them there literally the day after or within a day to try and help expedite the shipment.
So I'll tell people the best way to do it. Don't do just the regular delivery, which is what I did. Try your best to do they have the 3 day, and I think it's the 7 day to 8 day. Do the 3 day because that way it's going to get to you and it's going to get to you quicker than it got to me because I did the regular, I only had a few dollars, but I needed this tea. so I did the regular delivery. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go out to our black business spotlight real quick. And we're coming back with Sam. Sam is not going anywhere. Sam's going to be right here. If you're enjoying Sam and you're getting all this information, I want you to share the video, share the video. We're going to go to a commercial right now. We'll be back with a black business spotlight and I believe the Goddess Salon. So I hope the Goddess Salon is ready. I see her back there. And then we have Britney Williams, Baddie Miss B, who has a company as well. So she's going to come in and talk. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, this is Quentin Samuels, aka Mr. Q. We want you to know that we want this show to keep running. So listen, if you're a follower, if you're a fan, if you're loving the show, we have a Cash App. The Cash App is $Mr. Q, MIZTAQ. If you would like to donate, you can donate $1, you can donate $2, you can donate $5, you can donate $5,000. It's all up to you. Whatever you donate, we make sure that it goes directly to our show. Also, we will put it in the pot for our cash giveaways. If you would like to donate and help us keep this show running and make it bigger and bigger and better, that we can have a platform for ourselves, $MIZTAQ. We'll see you then, and make sure that you are always plugged in. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we have in the studio with us Denitria Whitfall. Can you hear me, Denitria?
Yes, I can. How are you?
Oh, all right. Good to meet you, Denitria. Listen,
Nice to
Denitria
meet you too.
Whitfall has a company, and it's called Goddess Salon. Now, Denitria, this is going to trip you out, but while you're talking about your salon, I'm going to be letting people scroll through your website. All right. So I
Okay.
want you to go
Thank
ahead.
you.
Yes, I want you to go ahead and start talking about yourself. Matter of fact, let us know who you are, where you're from, where were you raised. Just kind of give us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Denitria Weekfire. Everybody call me DD. I'm born and raised in Houston. I grew up in Navasota, Plantersville area, and I've been here in the Bryan County Station area for about 15 years. I worked over with European Wax Center for about 5 or 6 years, and I was training over there, and I decided to step out on my own and do it for myself and do it for the community. So it's time to make it happen.
So, hey, we're going to do this right here. And I want you to tell us about your company and tell us what they offer. Tell us everything about the company and how the company started. Just give us a history.
I just started this year. This is my first few months out on my own. I've been with, like I said, European Wax Center. I'm a cosmetologist, and I also specialize in skincare and facials. I also specialize in body services, full body waxing, full body services, Brazilians, facials, help keep the hygiene, clean and moisturized, exfoliated, healthy skin inside and out. So we try to make sure that the skin is always glowing. I specialize in natural hair as well. Like I said, I just started. We opened up in September. Due to COVID, we got pushed back a few months. So I was able to jump out there and get started and try to offer something to the community from a Black perspective.
And listen, all of this works during this COVID time because within COVID, we're being taught you have to wash your hands. You have to change your soiled clothes. Like a lot of people don't know. When you come in the house, you had these clothes on all day. Look, I'm going to tell you, we're taught to put these clothes. When I walk in the house, my wife like, look,
get out of it. Put it in the washing machine.
That's all she say. Yeah. So we're taught to do those things. And a lot of people don't understand how important it is because bacteria sits. And that's what, and that's what this is. It's not just a virus. It's a bacteria. And it sits and it travels and it lands in everything. Mm-hmm. So this is a good thing. So your company, would you say you started right at the brink of COVID, or?
I've been on my own since September of 2020, but I have been working on trying to branch out for like the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. So I had a little bit experience with, full blown franchise, a full blown company. But, behind the scene, those things are a little bit different. So I started looking into how can I do it on my own? How can I do the same thing that this company is offering at this rate? Can I do this by myself? So my husband, my family members, they rallied behind me and was like, hey, just go for it. Just go for it. You can do it. So honestly, that's really what it was. That's what took place. During COVID, I had nothing else to do. I would research, study, call people. I was calling all type of companies. I use inner skincare. And I was just asking so many questions on like what the product is gonna do. How does it help maintain? Is it gonna benefit for waxing, gonna benefit for everyday use? I use my inner skincare for daily regimens to cleanse, wash, moisturize, exfoliate. People think when you exfoliate your skin, you're gonna break your skin out and dry your skin. It's not the fact that you're pulling everything out. It's just that you taking out the impurities that's inside your follicles, inside your pores, inside some people have deep pores in their face. So it's a little bitty things like that you can do every day to help maintain your hygiene, your health, your skincare, and keep a regimen going. And I always tell everybody, once you start making yourself feel good, I don't care what's going on, COVID or anything else, you look good, you feel good, you're going to be all right.
And that's the most amazing thing is the way COVID has opened up the creative minds of our people, and not just creative minds, but it's opened up our minds to give. You have people that do everything from help people be healthy to just help people be joyful.
Yes.
People that make things and they sell different types of jewelry and stuff like that. That makes a person to have some jewelry just to feel joyful.
I tell people all the time, it's like when you growing up and we all been through certain things in life, we see things, we experience things. It's always something that grab our attention and we hold on to that.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I grew up with severe eczema. So I always had problems with my skin growing up. I had problems trying to make sure that my appearance was right, bullet and stuff like that because I was darker, but I never felt like it wasn't gonna be okay. So now that I have a platform, I always tell my clients, for me, it's the service. People need to be interacting with each other. When my clients come in, we talk about everything from politics, good or bad. Not to mention it, but politics, good or bad. We talk about kids. We talk about homework, everyday life, and it's like a therapy session. When you got a place you can go to and open up and just let everything out, ain't nobody gonna hound you about it. Bye.
It's like the barbershop.
Just like that. It's just one on one. It's just me. It's just all me though. It's just one on one.
Yeah. And you got that one man at the barbershop. You got 20 dudes in the barbershop with that one guy. Man, they just talk about this guy probably hears so much stuff. And a lot of these old barbers used to give you advice. And that's how if you know back in the day, we had places like that for blacks to go. Yeah. When we were in the barbershop, we had Mr. Otis. I mean, when I was little, Mr. Otis was at the barbershop, and he had that part right here and his hair was split over to the side. But Mr. Otis would always give us stories, and that stuff would stay. And he'd tell you, hey, boy, don't get out there in them streets. And they give you, so that's good to be able to have people come in and they can talk to you and you can kind of, because you have to build a relationship with people.
Before anything. Yeah. You can't, I can't go through a process or a treatment with a client if there's not a relationship that's going to be out. They have to trust me when they walk through the door.
Right.
Just have to. So once you get past that intimidated stage or something, because the services I provide are a little bit, exposed. It's very much exposed. But once you make that appointment or you come in and you see what's going on and I can have a conversation with my client, I can sit down and explain to them what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and why I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. The comfort zone changes. And now they totally trust me because now, not that I've just seen everything, but, they open up really personally to me. So I always respected that. Even in the salon chair, some people suffer from alopecia, just some things that we all deal with and go through and see on a day-to-day basis. Right. You have to pull that curtain back for somebody every once in a while.
Right. So I'm going to pull up your website again and kind of let people know how to contact you. And I'm going to pull it up, but let people know how to contact you. And you can, and matter of fact, y'all, I'm looking at the reviews and look, y'all see these reviews. You see the reviews. Look, you got 5 5-star reviews.
To all of that, but like,
hey, you ain't paid no attention. See, look, Mr. Q looks at it all. She said, one lady said, first time custom from out of town. Denitra is very welcoming and informative throughout the whole service. She took her time and was very neat and clean. She loved that right there and skin mask and will definitely go back the next time. Now, women, this is a place that you all can go. And I think you do like a back whack, like men that have all that extra nets and backs and all that stuff. Yes. So yeah, y'all.
I service everyone. Yes, I service everyone. But yes, they can reach me. I am new to the Facebook platform. I've had Facebook forever, true enough, but everything's so different. So I have my website set and it's connected all together, but I'm not on Facebook every day. I'm trying, but I'm not good with it. I can be reached through the website on my email. It's Denitria at goddess-salon.com. I can be reached by my cell. The business contact information is 936-499-2219. If I don't reply, don't feel like I'm ignoring anybody. I'm just in between contacts and everybody. And then also,
what's that number again?
936-499-2219.
Okay.
And then IG, I am more comfortable and active on IG. So my Instagram, my personal Instagram is Netria. It's at NETRIA, and my business page is at Goddess. Well, it's at God underscore S 2020 on Instagram.
And
And
then
I
you
have all my links, everything on there. I am affiliated with TLC, so Total Life Changes, NutriBurst, all that. I am affiliated with Design Essentials. So if anyone needs any products need to be shipped to their home, they can order online right there through my website. And just go on the website, go to Instagram, go to the link, and just click the link, and you can go straight to your booking site. And if you have any questions, concerns, I have my consultation there. Anyone can book for a consultation. We can do a virtual consultation, cell phone call, face-to-face video chat, or they can come to the salon.
okay? And I want to tell y'all something. This is what impressed me. She has a full set website, and in less than basically a year, she has a full set website, and that means that this business is serious. So when you go in there, I'm looking at the website right now, so there's no use in calling and saying, "Hey, can I get a discount?" Look, it is what it is.
It's
Right
there.
here on the page.
We
So
get to that later.
yeah. So I tell you what, we thank you for tuning in, and let us know if you would like to come back and kind of talk about intel about different parts of the business. But we're glad you came. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you check out the Goddess Salon. That's Denitra Wheatfall, and her salon is Goddess Salon. And she's located right here in Bryan, Texas. As a matter of fact, that's her address right there. She has
a new Solar Salon Suites right in the
Wow. And she has her own building office. So, ladies and gentlemen, she is legit. You go in there and you get yourselves taken care of, because coronavirus is real, and we have to stay clean. We have to keep our bodies clean. Look, remove all that extra hair and all that stuff. Men, if you got everywhere, if you got
come
that
get
house,
it. I got y'all.
Yeah.
I got you covered. It's gonna be okay. I'm gonna walk you through it. We're gonna make it.
All right. So listen, y'all heard it there from Denitra Wheatfall. We're about to bring in real quick. We're about to bring in Miss Britney Williams, and then we're going to jump back into this tea, y'all, because this tea is some good tea. But we thank you, Miss Wheatfall, and people patronize her business. Go in there and get yourself taken care of. Get yourself taken. Look at my face. Get yourself taken care of. All right, Miss Wheatfall.
Thank y'all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, look, we have next up, I'm not even going to go to a commercial. We have Miss Britney Williams. Britney, how you doing, Britney? You turn your mic on, Britney. I can't hear you, Britney. I can't hear you. I can't hear you for real. Why I can't hear you, Brittany? You got something plugged in. What you got plugged in? Hit it again. It was 3 of y'all a while ago. What happened? It was 2 screens up a while ago. I hear you, but barely. Nope. Nope. Okay, come back. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, Brittany's going to come back because Brittany had like 3 phones plugged up at one time. She had like 4 screens in backstage. I don't know. Brittany got it all set. She got a whole multimedia thing going on back there. So, anyway, y'all, she'll be right back. But we're going to go back. We're going to go back to my boy, Sam. Sam, we're going to hit this commercial real quick, man. And I'm going to bring you back up. And I got to let people know what's going on with what's going on. We're back with Sam Williams. Look, the CEO of Emerald Isles Organic Tea. Sam was giving us the rundown on these teas, and I believe I'll tell you where he stopped at because this is my favorite. Y'all, I ain't gonna lie, this is my favorite. But he was talking about the wellness tea. So, Sam, kind of start off there and kind of continue kind of telling us about the wellness tea, because right now is very vital.
Yeah, it is. It is. And real quick, Mr. Q, let me say this before I start. I just want to give congratulations to all these entrepreneurs that you're bringing up, because I didn't realize that you bring light to so many of them. And I completely understand the amount of work it takes to put in an infrastructure for a business. When you start talking about websites and trying to make sure that those websites are looking, maximized in terms of your efforts to getting people there and making those sales. I know how difficult it can be to put all that into place, especially, when you're doing it for the first time. You got to find all those materials on your own. So I just want to give an encouraging words to anyone who's watching, who's trying to undergo that right now. I mean, I know it takes a lot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And while you're talking, I'm just going to pull up your website and play around with a little bit, so everybody just you. This is your platform, man.
Definitely. So you said we left off on the wellness tea, and one thing I wanted to say in terms of the teas, real quick, in the way that you drink them is just as important as what they're good for. So you were talking about, putting the tea bagging and letting it steep, especially with the white pine, in order to make sure that vitamin C is preserved and the benefits that you're trying to get out of that tea are going to be there. You want to make sure that you never boil the tea. So you want to get that water hot enough, and then after a while, when it gets hot enough, you kind of let it sit for a moment, and then you pour it over that white pine tea bag, and you let it steep for about 20 minutes. So with these white pine tea bags, you actually want them to steep a little bit longer than you would average tea, just because it takes a little longer for that to disseminate from the white pine into the cup. So you want to steep it for about 20 minutes. And we have those instructions. If you go to the white pine on the website, we actually have those instructions detailed out under the tea itself. So that's definitely one that I would say you want to make sure you follow the instructions in order to get the benefit. Another thing I would say, when you talk about herbal medicine, I look at it as preventative care, right? So it's preventative maintenance, it's preventative care in a way, and consistency is just as important, because depending on what you're drinking it for, when I talked earlier, I said there's 2 points of it. There's immunity boosting and there's also bodily regulation. So you're actually regulating whatever you're consuming on a daily basis, 24/7, because all of your organs are working together to keep your body in a homeostatic balance. And every one of them in some way is filtering something. So if you're drinking this tea for a specific purpose, you want to make sure that you're consistently doing that in order for it to provide the desired effects you're looking for. I think sometimes we fall under the misnomer that you can just be sick, drink tea today, and it's done. And depending on what it is, that may work. But the more serious the case, the longer it may take for you to see a result. So you want to make sure, especially when you talk about herbal medicine, that you're being very consistent with drinking that tea for a specific purpose. So a general rule of thumb I would like to say is, probably 2 to 3 cups a day. And, you want to do that, 5 to 6, 7 times a week, and pair that with water to make sure, like I said, it's regulating properly. But back to the teas. We talked about the wellness tea last, and then the next one was actually the lemongrass tea, which I told you is very good for cold and flu symptoms. It's actually nicknamed fever grass in Montserrat because they drink it whenever they have a fever. So it's one of those teas that's very good for cold and flu symptoms, and that one is going to be a bare bones tea. It's not going to have a whole lot of ingredients in it. Again, we're just trying to highlight the lemongrass in that because we understand that it's so useful for cold and flu symptoms. And then now we're going to move on to the teas that are going to help with regulation. So I talked about earlier when you talk about immunity boosting, there's teas that are going to help to boost your immune system, but regulation is also just as important. So you were talking earlier with the lady, and you were saying when you come into the house, you take off your clothes, you make sure you change and you wash, because as your body is regulating and you're sweating, all of those different things that you had in your blood or in your system, they're now getting purged out in some way, right? So regulation is a big part of it. So these next two teas, you want to make sure that you're drinking teas to boost the immune system, but then also regulating your bodily system so that you're making all of those different types of things that might be counterproductive to building a productive immune system regulated. So the next one is Moringa. And a lot of people might be familiar with Moringa. We've heard a lot about it. It's one of the most nutrient-dense plants in the world. So it helps, and it has a lot of different vitamins in it, vitamin C, A, and E. This one is going to be a little bit stronger in terms of the herbal flavor, but this is going to have a lot of nutrients, which you want to make sure whenever you're trying to boost your immune system that you're keeping up with your vitamins. That's something we forget sometimes. We think it's just about vitamin C. It's not just about vitamin C. It's about other vitamins as well. Vitamin D3, vitamin A, vitamin E. So you want to make sure that you're keeping up with your vitamins. And this is a tea that is very nutrient dense. One of the best teas to drink as just a daily tea. It protects the heart, the liver, and the brain, just with all of those different things that it has in it. So in terms of neurodegeneration, in terms of your cardiovascular system, if you want an overall tea that's going to protect those organs, the Moringa is a good tea to drink on a daily basis. I highly recommend that in terms of the regulation portion. Moving on, the sorrel, which is actually right next to the Moringa, we talked about it earlier. It's very similar to a hibiscus tea, right? And I've tried both of them, and you can taste the difference. With the hibiscus, and we actually saw hibiscus as well. With the hibiscus, it's a little lighter. The hue is a little lighter, but the taste is also a little bit smoother and a little lighter. The sorrel is very tart. It's very, very acidic in terms of the initial taste. So it's definitely stronger in comparison to the hibiscus. But one thing I've noticed, and I'm a young guy, so I don't really have any issues bodily. Everything is new at this point, right? So I don't really have any issues. But I drink all of these teas, and because I want to make sure that everything that I'm researching, everything that I'm studying, a lot of the times, if you follow these regimens, you should be able to see a difference. And with the sorrel, I've tried it. I've made a huge pot of it and consumed it for weeks on end. And one thing I can tell you that it definitely serves the purpose for being a very good blood detoxifier. The sorrel is really good for detoxifying the body. So when you talk about regulation, that's a tea that is very helpful and very useful. Something that you can mix with that is actually Tumeric, which many people are familiar with Tumeric. It helps a lot with inflammation for the same reasons, because it is something that helps with the blood circulation. So sorrel is something I drink very regularly, not only because it tastes, right? Because it tastes great. It's very strong, but the taste is a little bit tart and floral, almost like a lemonade in terms of the acid. And it's very helpful in reducing your cholesterol and your blood sugar levels and your triglyceride levels as well. And it also helps, when I talk about the regulation portion, in benefiting the kidneys, because the kidneys is a big part of what filters your blood. So that's why when I was talking earlier and I was saying regulation is a big part of it. When you're building your immune system, if you're not regulating your body correctly, if you're not drinking enough water, water plays a big role in this, because water acts like the vehicle. If I had to give it a name, water is almost like a vehicle to pass and help the kidneys to filter your blood. So you want to make sure you're keeping up with your water. And these last two teas, the Moringa and the sorrel, the Moringa being very nutrient dense, and the sorrel helping a lot with the circulation. So two teas that are very useful. And if I could run through the first three again, the white pine, the wellness, and the lemongrass, very helpful with the immunity boosting. And I would say this as well, because we're talking a lot about drinking these teas, right, Mr. Q? We've been talking about that pretty much the whole night. And one thing I will say is I've realized, and not just from studying this, but from my other studies in biomedical science, is that everything that you intake is going to make a difference. So, for instance, you tell me you want to buy my tea to help lower your blood sugar levels, right? And we've had people that buy our teas and they drink them and they say, wow, I was a diabetic or I had high blood sugar and I drink these teas regularly now and I don't even have to worry about it anymore because my blood sugar levels have dropped exponentially. And the one thing I can say with this, if you are drinking any of our teas for a specific purpose, you want to make sure that you're cognizant of what you are eating as well, because you don't want to eat something that's going to be counterproductive to what you're trying to accomplish. So if you're drinking a tea, like let's say for instance, our soursop tea is very helpful for people with diabetes because it helps to lower the blood sugar levels and helps to lower cholesterol. So a lot of people drink that for that purpose. If you're drinking that tea, but you're eating cupcakes and ice cream and candy and all types of stuff all day, I mean, what's the likelihood of that actually being effective, right? I mean, it's a good question to ask because, we have seminars, we have times where we've given information where we'll say, okay, the sorrel is very useful for losing weight. And that's a true statement. It helps to lower triglyceride levels. It helps with losing weight. But if you're just sitting at home all day drinking sorrel and eating whatever you can find, stuffing your face with food,
drinking it with your burger.
Exactly. I mean, how effective is it really going to be? So when I talk about herbal health, I always look at it as a catalyst. Okay, it is a catalyst because it is going to drive you to that goal or whatever you're looking to get to, but it works in tandem with what you eat. So your diet plays a role in this as well. You want to make sure that you're eating foods that are going to have meaning or purpose. And I'm not a person who is extremely strict when it comes to diet because I understand most of what we eat, the biggest factor is moderation, right? I mean, we're not going to be able to eat Brussels sprouts and lean pieces of salmon with, gingerly seasoned with salt. We're not.
Not every day, man.
Every day, right? We have comfort food. We have things that we like to indulge in from time to time. And so I'm not of the mindset that one is going to just eat the most healthiest food all the time. But you also have to take into consideration that everything can be consumed within moderation. So if you're eating something that you like, even though it may not be the most healthiest food, if you're eating it in moderation, it's not going to play a big role in being counterproductive to building the immune system. So foods that are very helpful, you want to stay away from what I like to call empty calories.
Empty calories.
Empty calories. So that's foods that you're eating, and for the most part, the only thing they're really providing you with is fat, right? So the protein might be there, the carbs might be there, but a lot of it's fat. And because of all the negative aspects of that particular food choice, it's just going to be what we call empty calories, because food, in a very general sense, is energy, right? So there's good energy, there's bad energy, there's having too much energy, which is where we start to build up the fat, and there's having too little energy in some cases. So I kind of stay away from saying anything about diets because those come and go. People choose what they think is better than the other. I don't know if you've had experiences with some of the diets on your own. Have you indulged in any diets before?
Well, you know what I do, Sam? I did a lot of dieting. Do you know Dee Dee Smith? She's married to Sam Smith.
Trainer.
Okay.
Yes.
So Dee Dee introduced me to this. She started Sweat Heart Fitness some years ago.
Yeah.
And what she did was she made me accountable. And she said, listen, let me tell you a secret. There's no such thing as a diet. She said, basically all your diet is how you eat.
Right.
And she said, a lot of people say I'm on a diet and they have all these different diets. She said, there's no such thing as a specific diet. It just depends on how you eat, how much you eat. And what she made me do, I was probably 360, 365.
Mm-hmm.
Dee Dee made me accountable. And she said, take a picture and send me everything you eat 4 times a day. So I had to eat 4 times a day, but I ate small meals. Mm-hmm. So what happened was I built my metabolism, and every now and then she'll let me eat if I ate a piece of cake, it was probably like that big. And I don't really eat cake like that, but something, small. But I'll tell you what happened. Once I realized that, and after I stopped doing that and I started picking the weight up, you know what I did? I just, at the beginning of every year, even when I would come to the conclave, at the beginning of every year or the end of every year, I would do 90 days of no breads, no sweets, no sodas, and no fried food. But I ate everything else. And guess what?
Okay.
The weight stabilizes. And that's what helps me. Like, I can drink this tea, man, and it doesn't bother me because it helps me because, like, look, I'll drink this tea and maybe I'll go and wake up in the morning and eat some oatmeal and, call it the day. Because I've set my body up to where I'm 45, man. So I got to make sure because I don't want gout. I don't want high blood pressure. I don't want the sugar. See, we call diabetes the sugar down in the South. It's called the sugar. No, not the sugar, the sugar.
The sugar. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, without the R. Grandma say, hey, baby, you got the sugar, So yeah, that's basically what I do. But hey, what we gonna do real quick while we talking about this weight stuff, I want y'all people to tune in because a lot of y'all need to hear this and give your food away. Hey, well, we're gonna do that. We're gonna call in Miss Britney Williams, Batty B, so she can come in and talk about her company. And we're going to bring Mr. Sam right back because, look, ladies and gentlemen, hey, Sam, tell the people to share the video, man. Tell them to share the show. Tell them to share the show.
Share the video. We want this information out there. Definitely.
Yes, sir. So we about to do this. We about to go to, I'll tell you something else. I got another person who sells a drink. It's a tea, but it's a drink. And it does some of the same things, but it has a little more of the tanginess off in it. But I'm going to run this commercial real quick. This is Fanetta Tea. Here we go.
Smooth, refreshing Fanetta Tea. Whether you drink from a bottle or pour it in your favorite glass, you will still enjoy the taste of fresh fruit and ingredients that will keep your body happy and healthy. Fanetta Tea.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's try this again. Britney.
Hey.
There you go. Now we can hear you right on.
Yeah, man.
Right. Hey, Britney Williams, Miss Batty B. Listen, let us know, Britney, about yourself and then kind of give us about your product and your services and your company.
Okay, well, my name is Britney Williams, but I go by Batty Miss B. I am a Bryan, College Station, Texas native, so we real Southern down here, okay? Small town gal. And the significance about my company and what I do is literally everything I do is handmade. And I say it like that because if you don't know me, I only have one hand. So all of my jewelry, all of my items for purchase are handmade. So I have a couple of things that I do make. So I make customized jewelry, customized waist beads. And all this came about while I was on my Plexus journey. Plexus is a company that I'm also an ambassador for. We are strictly about gut health. And so everything you putting in your body, like the young lady, Miss Demetria said, is a reflection of how you feel. And if you want to have a great appearance on the outside, it really starts from the inside. So I applied my health and my fitness with my Plexus products. And then as I started shrinking around my waist, I started getting into waist beads, because at first, when I started my health journey, I could not see a significant weight loss, but I was losing. So the waist beads, when I would wear them around my waist, will show you that when they drop, your inches are dropping. You're losing that weight. It may not tell you on that scale, but those inches around your waist does tell you. And so that's why I love to push my waist beads for the people. And from the waist beads, it integrated the jewelry that I started to make, because I was like, wow, well, if I can make this, I can make that. And so some of the jewelry pieces I make, which are my most popular, are customized necklaces and bracelets that have either a loved one who's passed or one that's alive that, you know, you just love, like a boyfriend or a husband. Some of us ladies love wearing our men around our neck, on our keychains. Honey, yeah, he's mine, he's taken, you know. So we like to
Wow.
we like to put claim on our things, you know. So we have a lot of people who like to get those customized necklaces and bracelets for sentimental gifts as well.
You know, I saw someone the other day. They have one, and you probably made so many you don't remember, but they had the grandmother on one. I saw he had his grandmother, and I was like, "Who is that?" He's like, "Oh, that's my grandma," and that's good to have. Like I was just saying about even during this COVID situation, that's sentimental value because people are
Yes.
passing away, and everything that we're putting on this platform, and people, oh, okay, medallions on your neck. What people got to understand, people are passing away. You never know when it's someone's last time. You
Yes.
buy somebody a bracelet, you make somebody a bracelet, or someone buys a bracelet as a matter of fact, y'all look, I had this for my birthday. It's about time for another one, but I keep it on. I had this for my birthday. Brittany made this one right here. This is for my birthday right here. It matched my ring. But
Yeah.
like you have to think that people they're giving gifts now because you never know. There are people passing
No.
away. And then Brittany told y'all, she said hand crafted. We work together. We do have a little joke, but do y'all see that? Handcrafted. That means she's literally sitting up here with one hand doing this right here. So ain't no excuse. But hey, she pack a wallop. She pack a wallop with that hand too. But so yeah, we
You're
work
my
together.
business.
So,
You're my
but
business.
but like I say, to be able to COVID, and I think you mentioned this, COVID brought out the creativity in you, right? Like because I'm hearing
It
a lot of
did.
people
It
saying,
definitely
yeah,
did.
because you're sitting there and you like me, like versus everybody else. My thing is, how can I give my people a platform, or how can I get my
All
people out?
right
That's
now.
all I think about. So I'm like, what type of technology? I like technology. I like cameras. I like mics. I like all types of stuff, lights. And that's what I do. So I sit around the house like, ooh, what can I do with these lights? What can I do with this camera? What can I do with this website? What can I do with this platform? Whereas
Yes.
everybody else is like, oh man, let me draw some pictures, or let me carve some wood, or let me do. And it's not just even about making the money, it's keeping yourself busy. But then once you realize you can
Master your
make money,
craft. Yes.
yeah. So you like, oh man. And then people are like, I want one, 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 I want this. And so it's not all the time, like just because you start selling one thing or one product, that's probably not even your destiny to do that product all the time, because it always, transpires, it transitions to something else. Because you said
Yeah, man.
you started selling plexus, and all of
Started
a
selling
sudden
plexus.
now you started doing beads, then now you're doing the medallions, and a lot of people talking about them because they're like, oh man, I like that, I like this, right? People around the job are wearing them. So I know she's
Yes.
selling them because there's people at our job that are wearing them. Bracelets.
Yes.
I had a guy almost jump on me because I got this one because he thought it was his. So so tell us what type of drive or motivation other than COVID that
Okay.
keeps you, because you can get discouraged sometimes when you're actually kind of starting and you have a whole bunch of things going. What keeps you from getting discouraged when it comes to doing everything that you do?
So for me, it is all about changing and making up your mind. For me, it is all about changing and making up your mind. That is exactly how Business with Baddie came about for the name, because whether it's waist beads, whether it's plexus, whether it's customized necklaces and pendants, you're doing business with me and I'm the service. And I hold myself to a high standard because I've always been a type of person who has been counted out because of the lack thereof. But my mind has the bigger capacity. And sometimes people don't make a leap because their mind tells them, oh, I don't think I'm able to do that. I don't think I can start a business. But for me, it's always been my life has been a challenge. So for me, when I look at things, I'm like, I gotta see if I can do this, and I gotta see if I can do that. And that's how Business with Baddie came about, because I optimize on giving the best customer service there is. I don't care if you broke something, you're missing something, something didn't go so well. I'm gonna give you a sample. I'm gonna refund. I'm gonna do whatever it takes, because at the end of the day, you're selling yourself.
And look at your mama.
I see mama. She just love the
Your
show.
mama.
Love the show.
That's mama. Look at her.
Yeah,
I had to get
man.
Go ahead. I
That
had to
is
get her.
too funny. She on here too, watching the live, boy. But yeah, Mr. Q, like, this, what you have, this platform right here, is super dope. It is all you are like the camera tech savvy guy, and look at you bringing all these black businesses together. The lady Chrissy with her beads earlier, Demetria, girl, I gotta come see you, okay? And Mr. Samuel, I mean, I wouldn't even have to change my last name. I mean, I'm just kidding. So
Oh wow. Oh wow. Fabio, he heard that too. He's sitting in the back here.
At the end of the day, I just love what you're doing, Mr. Q. And I mean, yeah, they can get at me on Facebook. This is my social platform. Instagram, Snapchat, they're all my name. Baddie Miss B. That's how you can find me everywhere. Payments, Cash App.
So she takes Cash App, Vimeo, Vimeo, is it Vimeo?
PayPal.
Venmo, PayPal.
Venmo.
So listen, y'all, if y'all want custom made braces, and do you have one of the there it is. That y'all see that? Right there. Y'all see, yeah, pull it back. Y'all see, do y'all see that? Do y'all see that right there? Matter of fact, I might, you know what? I might have to talk to you about putting one of those in our Valentine's Day package coming up in February.
Okay.
Listen, and I need to get with Denitra too. We have a Valentine's Day. We'll talk about that later. But what bracelets? Y'all see all of this stuff she's making? Y'all see it? Look, and like I said, what's so significant? She told y'all, crafted by hand. That should be your motto. Crafted by hand crafted.
It might come cute, handcrafted.
Yeah. And
literally.
Literally. Just handcrafted, literally. We crack jokes like that all the time.
All the time.
So Brittany, we thank you for coming in, and listen.
Yes.
If y'all need to look her up, listen, let me tell y'all, life is short, especially in these times. Yes. So listen, you better get you a gift. Get you a picture of grandma, get you a picture of Paw, get your family picture, and buy you a medallion and you wear it. Look, listen, cause I'm telling you, they sung a song back in the church. They said, "This may be my last time." This is literally reality, y'all. Yes. This is reality. So it's time, and that's why I say that, because gifts like that are precious and they last a long time. The value, you can pass it on through your children. You can pass to your children's children or whatever. So, and who knows what else she's gonna be. She probably has another business she hadn't told us about. But y'all make sure y'all stay in contact with Britney Baddie B. Look at her page. Baddie Miss Baddie. Y'all see what the name is. But y'all tune in and go to her Facebook page. Hit her up if you have something that you see on her page that you like. I'm sure she'll be willing to get it done for you. And she don't waste her time. She does do business. Like she said, it's all business.
It's all business. You if you put it in today, you'll have it in 3 days. And then
Oh boy, there you go.
yeah, so depending on shipping and everything like that, but I ship with USPS, so the post office, so you're usually getting your things in 3 to 5 business days.
3 to 5 business days. Brittany, we thank you for tuning in. And look, I'm gonna need another one of these right here because I don't wore this one out literally. And I'll get with you on that. But we thank you and we appreciate you for coming in, and we have your information right here. And I hope y'all don't leave. Y'all kind of stay around, watch us from the outside while Mr. Sam keep talking about this tea that's going to help us live right and help our lives be a little better. Thank you, Brittany. We're going to go to a break, and I have a special advertisement for y'all in just a second when I come back. Thank you, ma'am. So, ladies and gentlemen, hey, listen, I want to tell y'all something. Inauguration is coming up. Inauguration is actually January 20th, which is next week. And guess what? For the first time ever, we have a Black vice president. So how else are they going to honor the Black vice president by Chucks and Pearls? So listen, Divine Designs has your Chucks and Pearls shirt. Now listen, this is a green screen in the background. Let me show y'all what it really looks like. Give me 1 second here. Let me change it. I got to show y'all this. So I don't want the green screen to take away from what I'm doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, Chucks and Pearls, this is what the shirt looks like in the front, right? There we go. Chucks and Pearls, right? On the back side, look at here. This is what we have on the back, right there. I'm still speaking. And y'all see that right there. This is custom made right there by Divine Design CEO Natalie Samuels. That's my wife. Ha ha ha. So if you want to get one of those, you can hit her up right there on Divine Design's page. We're right here on Facebook. Divine Design, DVYNZ, DZYNZ. There you go. DVYNZ, DZYNZ. All right. Divine Designs. That's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be back right now. We're going to bring back Mr. Sam Williams. Sam, let's finish talking about that tea, sir.
I think I might have went out there for a moment. How we doing?
Oh yeah, you muted a little bit, but hey man, I told you, man, this is I love this because do you see all of the entrepreneurs, man? Like, do you see them?
Remarkable. It really is. It really is.
And you know, the other night we had a branding coach. So I've had everything from branding coaches to telling people how to do their businesses to a lot of businesses that are coming up and really flourishing because, you know, we got to live above that system. Only you know what I'm talking about.
I definitely do.
Yeah. So hey,
what I would say.
Go ahead.
Yeah. That you had someone on that could shed a little bit of light on the information part of it. But for anyone that's going out and trying to do this, the wherewithal to fortify your ideas and keep pushing towards a goal is going to be key, because especially when you're starting a business for the first time, a lot of the time is spent looking for the right answers. So, you know, if anybody's watching this right now, if I could give any advice, I would say be leery of those people who just say, you know, give me $1,000 and I can just get your business from $10 to $1,000 tomorrow. You know, a lot of the time this takes effort. It takes word of mouth. It takes going out on the road. It takes, you know, a lot of good service over the course of many different months. So it's also having that fortification of your ideas and the determination to keep pushing at it, even when you're faced with a lot of adversity.
Yeah, man, it takes a lot, man. And I sit up here and I watch this show, and I literally watch numbers. And I used to get big on numbers. I used to be big. I'm like 30 people watching, 40 people, 60 people, 5 people watching. But then I realized people started telling me, hey, I saw your show on YouTube. And the thing about it is we're on right now, we're on 3 different Facebook pages. We're on YouTube, and we're also on LinkedIn, which a lot of people don't use LinkedIn, but there are people that are watching on LinkedIn. And basically the giving up thing is the thing you have to look over. And we were taught, don't give up, keep going. Don't worry about who's not, worry about who is, you know? And that's basically what you're saying there, because you're watching a lot of these people. The wheels are starting to spin. Once the wheels start to spin, push your foot on the gas. Now, if your wheel's just sitting there, you need to turn your engine on. But once the wheels start to spin, put your foot on the gas, and the more it spins, then all of a sudden you're moving. Once you're moving, all you do is put that extra weight on there, because people don't understand, the more weight you have in the vehicle, the more traction you have. So you're moving, regardless if you're moving fast, you're moving slow, you're making progress. So yeah, man.
That's the key. That's the key, is you have to look at those minute goals. It's not always about just making this huge amount of money in a very small amount of time. It's about making these very small steps, attainable goals that you can actually reach along the way. And ultimately, with those small steps, you're reaching the height of where you want to be. So I completely agree with you.
Yeah, man. So, hey, let's finish talking about this tea, man.
Right. So for some of you who are tuning in or may have not heard of everything we talked about or discussed earlier, I just want to go through a few of them and get back into the eating portion of this, because that was a big thing.
That's what we were talking about. Yeah.
Right, I wanted to
talking about me overeating. Yeah.
Well, it seems like you had a plan in place. Seems like you're doing great from what I hear. So.
Oh yeah, I'm doing pretty decent. Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. So I will say this. I mean, we're in the new year now, and I'm sure I see this every year. We have these New Year's resolutions, and one of the most popular resolutions you're probably well aware of is I want to lose weight. You know, I want to lose some pounds, and sometimes, you know, they seem tenable at one given point, and within a couple weeks, you know, it's out the window. So that's the one thing I want to approach this with, is we have to be realistic. And that's what I was discussing with you. You have to be realistic about your goals, because if you're expecting that you've been eating a certain way for 15, 20 plus years, and then all of a sudden you're going to flip a switch and just go to the most healthiest diet or healthiest way of eating and exercise 5 times a week, it's probably not going to happen, right? So you have to change your habits in small increments. That's the easiest way to make effective change or long-lasting change, is make simple efforts to building a better life. So I have 5 things here that I like to tell people. And I think we were talking earlier that I'm in the same category as Didi. I don't really give out diets, because I think diets, like you said, it's just a catered way to how you eat. It's not really good or bad necessarily. It's just about what you eat. So the first thing on that is going to be your sugar intake, right? So sugar, very easy to track sugar, but it's a little bit askew, because based on where you live, based on your palate, sugar for you, like let's say we're both drinking a glass of tea. If you're in the South, sweet tea tastes a lot different than when you go to the Midwest. I can speak to that.
You know I know. Ugh.
Exactly. So when you go down there, sometimes the sweet tea is like syrup. I mean, it is very, very.
Get that bread in it.
Exactly. It is very, very sweet. So for someone in the South, that's just their palate is used to it. It's not a big deal for them. But when you go maybe to the Midwest or a little bit further up north, the palate, the things you eat may change. And so that might be over sweetened, right? So understanding how much of your sugar is too much is something that you have to work on, understanding that, because there's a few things that give you some idea of this is probably not the best habit. And those things are when you go to the doctor, you get your test, and they're telling you have high blood sugar, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or sometimes even diabetes. When you're at that point, I think herbal medicine or herbal health is probably at its most usefulness at that point, because you have the information to know that from what is being read from your blood, the other tests that they're running, they can already see that you're over exercising a specific organ. So in the case of having an excessive amount of blood sugar, then your pancreas is now having to work overtime, right? So when I talk about this, Q, I like to get people to look at their organs in a way that they can make a connection. Everything you do affects your body, right? There's an organ responsible of what we call maintaining a homeostatic balance, right? So that's just making sure that everything is running the way that it should be. So if I add an excess of anything, that means a specific organ or whatever is in charge of regulating that specific substance has to come into play, has to work overtime. So if I'm constantly eating lots of sugar, my pancreas is constantly having to work extremely hard to make up for that. So you want to make sure that you're looking at your sugars. And these are things, the best way I could say this is you want to cut out your processed sugars, right? Cut out the easy stuff. Like you don't have to eat as much ice cream. You don't have to eat as much cakes. Try to go to more of the sugars that are found in fruits. So those types of things is probably the easiest ways to curb that. The second thing, because I don't want to stay on these things too long, but I want to give everybody an idea, is your salt, right? Everybody's aware of how deadly salt can be and how many problems it can cause down the road. So salt is the biggest thing, and that's going to be directly linked to, high blood pressure, right? So you want to make sure that you're watching your salt intake. Very important that you're watching your salt intake. And fast food and processed foods are a big part of excessive salt. And another practice I can say, and I don't want to pick on the South because I lived there for quite some time and I love it. You might get a plate of food, and I know some people that they literally get the food and start putting salt on it before they even taste it.
Before they start eating.
Before they even taste it. And I was surprised, but I realized that's just a way of life for some people, right? They get the food and they just assume automatically, this chef did not season this food. I need to put some salt on it for myself. And you can't do that, right? I mean, it's not a good way to treat the food. You want to make sure that you're cognizant of how much salt do I really need to put on this food, right? Because every decision you make is going to have some impact, and it may not be right away, right? You may not have a major issue right away, but a lot of that fat, a lot of that salt, a lot of that sugar comes into play 10, 15, 20 years down the road when those organs have been working their darndest to make sure that you're staying in proper shape, right? They're doing their best, and that was for lack of better terms, but they're doing their best to make sure that you're able to run and walk and talk and all these different things. And at some point, they begin to fail. They begin to have issues. They begin to have problems. And that's what I like about health, because a lot of these things that we look at as, diseases and illnesses, they're progressive. They don't happen overnight. So that means you can make a decision today, right, to do the right thing, to eat better foods, to take better care of yourself. And you can actually prevent a lot of different deadly types of diseases, very serious illnesses down the road, just from making simple decisions now. So sugar and salt, those are the two main things, very simple. And I'm not telling anybody anything new here. We all know it, right? We know the information, but I have to say it because when you talk about herbal health, when you talk about consuming things for the betterment of your body, you have to realize that everything you intake plays a role, right? So moving on, processed foods, and I've talked about some of those things with sugar and salt. Processed foods. So when I talk about processed foods, what am I talking about? Canned goods, right?
Mm-hmm.
Canned goods. Some of the meat products that are put in, tunas and different things like that. Processed food. The biggest reasons why you want to try and absolve yourself from processed foods is because a lot of the time there's a lot of salt that has to be added to preserve that, number one. And there's a lot of oils that might be involved. There's a lot of preservatives, dyes, all of those different things are things you don't want in your body, right? So all those things I mentioned, and there's different, kinds that I could get into, but just to have an idea, you want to make sure you're avoiding those as much as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
So processed foods, and when we talk about fast food, I mean, I get it. It's a convenience. And I'm not telling anyone, hey, listen, you got to completely, because I know you're not going to cut fast food off. It's a convenience. A lot of us are in, we have jobs, and, we may not always be able to cook these foods, but a lot of the fast food is going to be heavily processed.
Right.
Heavily processed in order to cater to the convenience factor. So you want to try and cut down on the processed foods to avoid those salts, those oils, the dyes, all of those preservatives, because a lot of those things are going to be counterproductive to maintaining a healthy body. And the last two here, fats and water. So with fats, there's good fats like avocado, but obviously the bad fat we're talking about here is, what you're going to take to fry your foods, fried foods, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the South, I mean, they fry everything. I was surprised. Some things you fry, but they fry everything. I mean, fried green beans, fried Oreos.
Hey man, if you can put it in the grease, you're gonna fry it.
They find a way, right? And I'm not one to say that I don't indulge in fried chicken from time to time. It's a comfort food. We're all used to eating it, especially when you're growing up. It's not about never eating those things, but it's like you said, at some point you have to make a decision to cut it out. Even if you're just going to make sure that you're eating a little bit of it, you're not eating it every day. You know what I mean? You're not eating it 4 or 5 times, 6 times a week. You're at least cutting it down a little bit. And the biggest thing, like we said, moderation. Moderate your eating habits. So instead of frying everything, deep frying everything, every now and again you might have a fried chicken. I don't really eat pork that much personally, but every now and again I know fried pork chops is a thing. Every now and again you might have that. But it's not an everyday thing. It's
right.
not right. And that's the biggest thing. And then water. That's so simple. But yet it's so difficult for a lot of people is drinking water. And we replace it with these sodas and carbonated drinks with the dyes, and one of the things that you'll see is proliferated by that is things like kidney stones, right? When you're drinking a lot of sodas and stuff like that, that's something that actually proliferates kidney stones. So that's why I say you make a decision now, you may not see a consequence right now, right? You're going to see it 15, 20 years down the road because you've been drinking 2 to 3 sodas a day, and it's just, you wake up in the morning, soda, middle of the day, soda. And it's just like, you have to be mindful of what's going on internally, because I said earlier, with your kidneys, they're actually responsible for filtering the blood, right? So you have all of this carbonated drink, and that's why those kidney stones are forming, because they're having to filter all of those liquids that you're indulging in frequently. So those 5 things: fats, sugars, salts, processed foods, and water. If you can be mindful of those on a daily basis, the diet is not going to be as big of a deal. It's just a matter of moderating those things, making sure that you're eating the right foods that, like we said, is not going to have an excessive amount of empty calories, right? We want to have foods that are playing a role. So if I can touch on it real quick with the sugar, I didn't point out, you were talking that you kind of stay off the breads at some point. Right. So with a lot of those carbs, they actually turn into simple sugars, right? So bread is a big part of that when you talk about sugars with carbs and stuff like that. So that's something that I would like to add in there. But for anyone that's trying to be more health conscious, it starts with being conscious of what you're eating and also what you're drinking.
And you know what's crazy, man? People, when I tell people that I do no sweets, no fried foods, no waters, no sugars, they automatically assume that when I say no sweets and no sugars, I say sweets and sugar is like, sugar and sweets are like almost two different things. And not two different things, but like people don't know that carrots have sugar.
Right.
Apples have lots of sugar.
Right.
What is it? What else? Is another fruit, is a vegetable that, matter of fact,
sugar too. Yeah.
And not oranges, lemons have more sugar than apples. I didn't know that. And I was like, are you serious? But here's the deal. I guess the citric, you probably know more about that, but the citrusy of it. Yeah. So I try to tell people, just because I say I'm not eating bread, and I say, bread has sugar, bread has sweets. So I said, just because I'm not eating bread, that doesn't mean I can't eat a tortilla or I can't eat a flat, what do you call it? A pinata, whatever that thing is. Because Dee used to have me eating like the flat bread. And she said, the difference in the regular bread and the flat bread, you just said it. It doesn't have the processed sugar. It doesn't have the fatty. And one thing we've been taught about was that high fructose corn syrup that will kill you. Eventually, it's going to get you. And that thing right there, we heard about that for years. And now I'm just now realizing everything. And basically, people don't understand what high fructose corn syrup is a super powered sugar. Like, it's super powered. It's like syrup that you ever seen somebody just take syrup and just like that tea you were talking about?
Yeah.
Man, when you go buy that tea, like we can go buy tea from the store up the street, man. If you want some tea, come down to Texas. I'll take you to get some sweet tea. Dude, your head gonna be shaking because you're not used to drinking that type of, man. There's so much sugar in that tea. You feel like you got the sugar when you when you finish drinking that. But like I said, I'm glad that you were able to come on and people stayed and they listened, because to hear it from a 21-year-old, to know about the sweets and the sugars and these teas that y'all sell, that lets us know that you care about not only us, not only about yourself, but you care about everyone else too. Because you 21, man, you could be like, man, forget all these old fat folk. Just let them go on about their business and drink whatever they want to drink. But guess what? You and your mom decided, hey, we want people to be healthy. And this is one thing I've learned too. In the islands, people eat like this all the time. They drink like this all the time. Most of them. You very seldom see a person breathing hard from the island, like, oh. Over here in the States, when we bend down to tie our shoes, man, we come up breathing like we done ran a marathon, But even in the ministry, I met so many people from Montserrat, the Virgin Islands, St. Kitts, St. Croix, Jamaica, man, Bahamas, man, those people are fit. I watch these cats run up hills and climb trees at 50, 60, 70 years old.
Yeah.
Why? Because they've been doing this forever.
Right.
This is ancient stuff. You just didn't come up with these regiments today. Definitely. But what you did was y'all introduced them to people who know nothing about them, because if you research, I researched the pine needle, man. It was used like back in the 1600s.
Yeah.
If they wanted vitamin C, They would go out, and Indians, they would take it and chop it up, or they probably just chew it. I don't know, man. You know, Indians ate everything. They ate grass, rock.
I'm not sure how they consumed it either. But
Yeah, but like you say, they were always healthy. They lived a long time.
exactly.
And our people are known as people who live a long time because, like, from Africa, like, we're known as those people who were eating from the ground forever.
Yeah.
But like you said, what we did was we got lazy. It got convenient. McDonald's up the street, Whataburger up the street.
Right.
We can go eat 4 or 5 burgers. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, a slice of pizza. I had a slice of pizza today, but guess what? I didn't eat the whole pizza.
Right.
And
right.
that's the problem. I want to eat the whole pizza. I want the whole pizza. And that's my grandma used to say, I don't know if you ever heard this, but your eyes were bigger than your stomach. You know, yeah. So, but man, like I say, it's coming to our closing time, but man, we were glad to have you come in and you gave us some really good information. So this is what we got to do now. We got to get these teas shipped out, man. So everybody get your pen. We about to put the information up. We about to tell you how to order your tea. I'm about to drop the website. We about to tell you how to get your tea. You need to get your tea, folks. Get your tea. COVID is real. Corona is real. And look, and this is a disclosure. We never said that the tea would prevent. Look at me. We didn't say it prevents COVID, right?
Right.
We all know what COVID is. COVID is basically, anyway, it doesn't prevent your respiratory system, your pneumonia. It doesn't prevent that. Everything else prevent that. Wearing your mask, washing your hands, keeping socially distanced. But if you got COVID and you have been consuming this, if you got any type of sickness and you have been consuming this helps build your immune system to, guess what? Ward off. So you won't have those extremities that most people have. Trouble breathing, the blood pressure up, the head spinning, the eyes bulging, all of this different stuff. All because why? You took out the time to invest in yourself. All right. And I'm gonna tell them this too, Sam. I keep wanting to say Dr. Sam. Don't listen. This right here, listen, buy you some, order you some. Don't wait until you get sick to contact Sam and say, hey, or send an order. Because guess what? It may be a little too late for you. Don't wait until you get sick. Be proactive, not reactive. That's what I teach all the time. Proactive, not reactive. We started drinking this years ago, Sam? I mean, not the pine needle, but yeah, about 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. You know, but we had that information. Now we're giving the information on to you that you may live healthy and that you may simply live. You know, you never know. This pine needle tea may just be the tea to save your life if you ever get sick from COVID. The hibiscus, everything, the wellness tea. It may be the tea to literally help save your life and prevent you from going into a cardiac arrest, prevent you from having hypertension, prevent you from an aneurysm. So all the stuff he talked about, it can prevent those, especially in us unhealthy Black people.
Right. And if I could interject for just a moment.
Go ahead.
That's one thing I will say is a lot of these eating habits, it's because everything has been modernized, right? And the convenience of certain restaurants, we've gotten away from cooking, you know, and a lot of this, I think, at the core of it is avoidable because these diseases and illnesses are all progressive. A lot of the things that we face a lot of the times are stuff like heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, and a lot of those things are avoidable just by simply changing the way you eat, changing what you put in your body. So you can avoid a lot of those things just by making some simple choices today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So y'all heard what he said. It is, and like I said, it's not hard. Most people think it's hard to drink water. It's not hard to drink water. Like he said, your palate's not made for it, and your body likes the way it tastes. But I think now, man, I I'll drink about 6 or 7 or 8 of these, or I'll drink a jug a day. And if I do, listen, I don't drink sodas, but if perhaps I had maybe a Sprite or something, you know how I drink it? If I had a bottle of Sprite, this is for those of you who try to figure out, well, I love soda. And you say, well, I don't want to drink soda. And you say, well, I want to be like you, Mr. Q, and I don't want to drink soda. Get you a Sprite. But if you want to drink a Sprite, my wife, she drinks a little bit at a time. Just a little swig of Sprite, you know, a little something. And she'll put it up and she'll come back and grab it again. This is what y'all do. You get your 2 and 3 and 4 bottles. Hey, don't mention them family reunions, Sam, where they get 5 and 6 cans. You scarfing cans of Coke and barbecue. And hamburgers and barbecue and cans of Coke, Sprite. Oh, ain't more Sprite left. And you wonder at the end of the day, why are you so dizzy and you weighed over? Do you know how much sugar you just took in just from one can of Coke? If you let a can of Coke sit out in the sun and let it dry up, it's like that much sugar in a can. And you drinking all of that. Anything that can help your battery, anything that you can pour on your battery and it kills the corrosion on your battery. Do you know what it's doing to the inside of your stomach?
Yeah.
That's all I had to say. But Sam, let us know where the website is. And I pulled it up, but let us know more about the website and how to order and what, when you say that, I'm just going to pull it up for you and let everybody kind of know where you are and all of that different stuff.
So you can get all those teas I mentioned at emeraldilesorganics.com. And I want to just run through them real quick, just the names. The 2 white pine blends, the wellness tea, the lemongrass tea, and for regulation and just nutrient dense teas, the moringa and the sorrel are also very helpful. So those teas are on the website. And when you click on each one, it's going to bring up the flavor profile. It's also going to tell you the things that it's good for. So if if you maybe forget or, you're just looking around, we have all that information on there so that you can kind of get a little bit of an idea before you buy it. But it's emeraldilesorganics.com. And look through all of our collection. We actually put in some other teas too. If you're just a fanatic of just drinking, an iced tea or stuff, like we have good iced teas on there as well. With our green passion, it's passion fruit and sencha. So we have some other teas, quite a large array, good selection for everyone. And make sure you leave some comments, some feedback. We always love the feedback from you guys because we appreciate all of our customers very much so.
Yes, sir. And like I said, I am not only, and this is why I was so adamant about getting you on the show. I'm not only just the guy who just wanted you to talk about the tea. I've drank it. It's good. It makes me feel better. It makes you, it even makes you think clearer. And people don't understand that. Tea can make you, it works all types of ways. It works all types of ways. It can make you think clearer. It can make you, talk better, and a lot of times, even in acting, there are certain teas that you can drink that clears your throat without you having it. Some people take cayenne pepper in water, which I would never pour cayenne pepper down my throat with water, but you can drink certain teas that coat your throat. And what I do with this tea, I have some other teas that I buy from the store and I put the teas in here with it. So I mix it and like I drink eucalyptus, I drink elderberry, I drink all these different type of teas. And now that I know y'all sell these, guess where I'm going to be getting
that too? Yeah, we do.
Listen, man, because the box of tea here in Texas of this many packages, man, you paying about $10, $12, $20 a box. So if y'all see the prices are reasonable on this tea. There it is right there. You see it. You got the sour sop, you got the lemongrass, you got $6, $8, $12, $8. I don't see anything more than $12 right here. And you get a lot of bags in the bag. So let me show y'all
tea bags.
Yeah, I'm going to show them something real quick. This is my fresh one. I already opened one, but it's in the kitchen. But I'm going to show y'all when you open this bag, you got a large bag, right? Okay, so when you open this large bag, Let me put this one down. Oh, and you can just smell it. Oh my. But when you open this bag of tea, you have these packets. And there are, in this one, I believe there are 10, 8?
14. They're all 14.
Yeah, 14 in this one, 14. So there are 14 bags of teas. If you drink tea twice a day, you got a week worth of tea. If you look, and I'm going to tell you this, he didn't tell y'all this. If you want to save your tea, you steep this in 1 cup, you let it dry, you steep it again. That's what people don't understand. You can steep this boy at least 2 times. You can get you 2 times a drink. So don't just put the tea in there, steep it 1 time. And, I'm gonna just throw this away. You wasting tea, man. It's like you wasting a wing when people don't eat all the meat off a wing. You know, you wasting it. So, ladies and gentlemen, order your tea. Order your tea from Emerald Isles Organics. Get your tea. Sam has educated us on the tea. He's educated us of why it's so important to drink the tea. He's even educating us on watching our weight and making sure that you don't drink this tea with a burger, you know? So yeah, you don't drink this tea with a burger. So you have anything else you want to say, Sam, before we go?
I just want to thank you for bringing us on. I consider it an honor. And I just want to also encourage you with everything that you're doing. I thought it was just so remarkable, all these different people that you're giving a platform to speak about their business and share their ideas. I'm sure it's really been a blessing to a lot of different people. So that's all I want to say is I've just really been blown away at how many people have taken this time we've been in COVID and have made something beautiful out of it, like starting a business.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. And I tell people, man, it's like it brought out it took us back to the times where we were creative people.
Right.
You know, we were creative. We invented a lot of the inventions. I imagine that's how a lot of the inventions were made, because somebody got bored one day. You know, hey, we're stuck in the house. I got to do something, you know. So I'm just glad to be able to kind of help. I can't do a whole lot, but I feel like this platform, somebody's watching it.
Exactly.
You know, somebody's going to need what's being said, and they'll go back and watch the video. But man, we thank you for taking out your time, because I know you're a busy man. You're still in college. Hey, as a matter of fact, just tell them to go ahead and give you that PhD, man. My wife was texting me. I said, man, they just need to go. And I was Googling some of your vocabulary because it's a little heavy for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the South. So, you know, I don't use that extensive vocabulary like that. I only use words that I need to use, you know. But you know, but that's good. You know, 21 years old, man, being a CEO, we're proud of you, man. And we're glad that you're doing this. We're glad that your mama had the vision, because that's where the vision came from, mama. Right. And when mama said, hey, let's do it, you said, okay, mama, let's do it. And guess what? You were prosperous with it 3 years ago. You came out predestined before this situation even came. So now you're technically out saving lives. So, man, I'm going to share this video with our nation. You know what I'm talking about? So they can see this, because this needs to be known that this stuff is available everywhere. And thank you from your brother. Was that your brother?
He was Julian? All the way from England. Yep.
Julian, yeah, man. Hey, thank you for tuning in, Julian. When I said honey, he said yes, honey. You know, so yeah, man. If anybody else from England was watching, Montserrat, wherever you were from, hey, tune in. Guess what we're gonna do on Monday? On Monday, we're gonna have a physician come in, and he's gonna talk about men's health. He's a Caucasian doctor here in Texas. His name is Mr. Jim Allen. He's actually my doctor, who I don't like to go see all the time, but I have to. And he's an ex drill sergeant in the military, but he's also a physician now. So he's going to talk to us next week. He's going to be on Monday, and probably going to touch some of the things you talked about, the cholesterol and how it's important for men to go to the doctor and get a checkup, and all these different things that we deal with as men, and we're afraid to go to the doctor. And then Wednesday, we're going to have some Black male authors come on, talk about different situations in the community and talk about their books. So, hey, man, I'm excited. I'm loving the platform myself. So I hope everybody else is loving it. You got anything else you want to say, Sam?
I just want to say thank you for having us, and we look forward to serving you guys with Emerald's Organics tea.
Man, I appreciate it. And tell your mama, Sister Francis, thank you, man, for allowing Sam to take out of his busy schedule. Because I don't know if y'all had to do any working today, but hey, he took out time. You had a little time to play around with us today, man. Thank you, Sister Francis. And y'all have a great one. God bless y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Mr. Samuel Williams, all the way from Decatur, Illinois, CEO of Emerald Isles Organics. And look, I'm going to go to a break, y'all, because I know y'all done got a little quiet of it. But I got to remind y'all of something. And we'll see you later, Sam. We thank you, man. Stay tuned. Keep in touch with me, man. I got your number. Look, we're going to work on some things, all right?
All righty.
All right, God bless you, man.
Likewise.
Ladies and gentlemen, hey, this is Quentin Samuels, a.k.a. Mr. Q. We want you to know that we want this show to keep running. So listen, if you're a follower, if you're a fan, if you're loving the show, we have a Cash App. The Cash App is $Mr. Q, MIZTAQ. If you would like to donate, you can donate $1, you can donate $2, you can donate $5, you can donate $5,000. It's all up to you. Whatever you donate, we make sure that it goes directly to our show. Also, we will put it in the pot for our cash giveaways. If you would like to donate and help us keep this show running and make it bigger and bigger and better, that we can have a platform for ourselves, $MIZTAQ. We'll see you then, and make sure that you are always plugged in. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are glad that you tuned in with us tonight. Remember to tune in every Monday and Wednesday night right here on Mr. Q's Plugged In Virtual Show. Monday night, we will have my friend, Dr. Jim Allen, and he's going to speak with us about the importance of health, the importance of Black men going to the hospital, getting their checkups. He's going to speak to us on that. He was a physician assistant for 26 years, of family medicine, urgent care, 23 years, and a U.S. Air Force veteran, and he was also a drill instructor. So, ladies and gentlemen, he will be coming in next Monday. And also we will have on Wednesday, we will have Mr. Chip Baker and Mr. T.K. Ware, and we'll be doing a special tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King on Monday as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember to always stay plugged in.